Hello, everyone. This is your girl, Shanidra, with Beyond the Cover. I am so excited, you guys, because today, I am telling you not to react. Don't react, because people are going to come and attack. Don't react. I'm talking to myself too. Don't react. Move accordingly. You peep it, you see it, move accordingly. And don't worry about your adversaries, because God got your adversaries. Like I told you guys, my enemies is really when you're an enemy with me, you're an enemy with my father. You become an enemy with my father. And I'm going to go deeper into that because, we go beyond the cover, but we dig deep up over here. So I need you guys to get your mugs, your COVID proof, your wonderful mugs. It's on the website now. I actually had time to put it on the website. So these are available on the website that is on below, cportraitsmagazine.com. Also, the outfit of the day should be on there as well. It will be on there by the time y'all see this. So, this is the leopard. One side is leopard and one side is black. I have on my leopard earrings to match. And we also have this purse available. As you can see, it still has the tag. So this purse goes perfect with this. Also, you could wear a hat, but see, I ain't broke this hat in. So you could wear a leopard hat to go with it. But I'm not wearing it today. So we're going to go right into this new video, advertising our Amore Too Classy boutique. I have the clothing on our website, so you can go ahead and purchase whatever style you want. You can put the purse with whatever outfit that you see fit on the website. Yes, these are affordable prices, and you will be styling and profiling with class. So we're going to get right into the video. So as you guys saw, we do actually have these clothes available. This is the black dress that you guys saw online. So this is really nice. These are the straps for the sides of it. So we do have these clothes. We actually have these clothes. It just depends on what size you need. And we also have the jumpsuit that you guys saw as well, and you can see the sleeves. So this is for real. I'm just playing. This is really for real. So I have to advertise my Amore Too Classy boutique because that is also part of what God has us to do. So go to the website, get your outfit together, your classy, cute outfit together. And we're going to get started. But before we get started, again, the topic of today with your girl Shanidra is don't react, move accordingly. Don't worry about your adversaries. They can't do nothing to you. Your adversaries cannot do nothing to you. And I can confidently tell you guys from the word to me, So now I know most of us that or called or just moving forward, if you just moving forward in a positive way, you're going to have enemies, period. This is part of the territory. If you're beautiful, if you're, I mean, whatever, you're going to have enemies, period. You don't have to do nothing but walk into a room and you will have enemies. People will rise up against you just because you are you, period. I mean, there's no real explanation. I have asked people like, why don't you? Because I just don't like you. You just, I mean, how do you just not like somebody? But nevertheless, that's what you don't like. This what you don't like. So, oh well. I'm not about to react to people who don't like me. That has nothing to do with Shanitra, and you don't have no reason. So don't react. People start rising up against you because this is the time that the enemy big mad. He's big mad. So, especially if you're rising and you're moving forward and you're starting to get noticed and stuff, just expect it. Expect people to come up against you. Just expect it. Expect it. If you expect it, then it won't come to you as a surprise. Because when something throws me off guard and it just catches me off guard, that's when I will react. Like I told y'all, I had road rage. And I will react, because it caught me off guard. I'm driving along and then somebody cut me off. So I will, go off. But now I don't. I'm like, let me let them be great. They in a hurry. They must be in a hurry. Let me let them be great. I'm going to make a complete stop. Slow my car completely down. If ain't nobody right behind me. And let them be great. You be great on your own. You're not going to control my car. So just like I do with road rage, just like I'm not going to allow them to control my car and try to drive my car for me, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to slow you down and control you. But if you don't allow them, you just don't react because they're looking for that reaction. Sometimes I smile and I'll be like, and when I smile, it's like that makes them mad. They get from in front of me. Just from me smiling because they're wanting a different reaction. So if you don't react in the way that they want you to react, 9 times out of 10, they'll leave you alone. That's what I tell my kids. Oh, but they keep messing with me. Ah. And I'm like, quit giving them that reaction. You crying is not stopping them from messing with you. So if you don't give them the reaction that they're looking for, then they will stop messing with you. Don't feed them. Make them starve. They're going to be over there looking crazy because you're not going to give them that no reaction. Anytime somebody has rose up against me and tried to lie on my name or whatever, you're not going to get that reaction. So when people look at my page, they're not going to see a reaction to your foolishness. We're not even supposed to deal with foolishness, foolish people. Like I said, I've dealt with delusional people. They do stuff and then they act like that. Then they play victim. They do stuff to you, then they play victim. Because they better be very careful when they return evil for your good. When you do something good for them and they return evil for your good, y'all need to read that. Read it in your word. Because that ain't a joke. God don't play with that. You return evil for good. I'm going to look it up for y'all real quick. So y'all can know exactly where it is in the Bible. He said in Isaiah 5, the 5th chapter, verse 20, he said, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. He said, woe to y'all. You want to call evil good and good evil? Somebody do good to you, you want to call that evil? That's like what they were doing with Jesus. Yahweh, because like I tell y'all, it's Yahweh or the highway. So Jesus, Yahweh, I call them both. So, and he answers. So, with that being said, they did the same thing to Jesus. They told Jesus. Now, all he did was good. Jesus did no wrong. That was the only perfect person ever. And all he did was good. Good. And they're like, oh no, Jesus got angry and he was flipping over tables. The reason why he was flipping over tables is because of what they were doing in his father's house. They're calling his father's house a church, and they're stealing from his father. They're doing all types of ungodly things in his father's house. That's why he started flipping over tables like, oh, heck no, because he's about his father's business. And when you about your father's business, you cannot worry about the adversaries. You don't react to them, and move accordingly. Like Jesus told them. That whole, they called him like he was demonic. They talking to God like he just some average person, and trying to demonize Jesus. That's how they were trying to talk to him, like he is demonic. No. And God, he just simply said, he didn't even react. He didn't flip out or whatever, because I told you I used to flip out, but I don't do it no more. Because I can see spiritually now. I can see that spirit now. But Jesus didn't react the way they expected him to react. He didn't flip out. He just simply asked me, he said, why do you not understand me when I tell you the truth? Because, all he did was good. And he's telling them the truth. Like, I didn't do that, whatever. All he did was good. And they returned evil for his good. They crucified him and all that for his good. What you think they're going to do to you? But anyways, he just simply told him, why? Why do you not understand me when I speak truth? That's what you need to ask these people. Why you don't understand me when I speak the truth? Why is it a problem when I speak the truth? That's not judging. That's speaking the truth. What God said, So why do you not understand what I say when I speak the truth? And they didn't say nothing. So God was like, Jesus was like, that's because we don't serve the same Father. Period. Anybody that's doing that bitter, evil, jealous, envious stuff is not serving the same Father that you're serving. Obviously, with their actions. They can say that they believe in God. God himself said, why do you call me Lord, Lord, and you don't do what I say? Why are you up here trying to call me Lord, Lord now? When you wasn't serving me with your bitter, envious, jealous self. You wasn't serving God. Because he told you simply, don't be jealous. He told Cain. He kept telling Cain. He kept warning Cain before Cain let that jealous, envious mindset take over. He kept warning him. But like Jesus said, back to Jesus, when Jesus was telling them the truth, they didn't want to hear it. Why did they die? And he didn't argue, yell at them or nothing. He just simply asked, why you don't understand me when I speak the truth? That's because we don't serve the same Father, basically. I'm paraphrasing it, but that's exactly what he basically said. We don't serve the same Father. Your Father is the Father of lies, and the truth does not lie in him. Your Father is Satan, the devil. Jesus simply, point blank, end of discussion, told him that. You don't believe me? And I'm speaking truth? And then the reason why I tell you don't react, because if anybody has to lie on your name, why are you going to even give them any? They can't even tell the truth about what happened. I always give proof, receipts. Boom, here you go. This is exactly what happened. Boom. Why you can't tell the truth? Why they can't tell the truth? So why are you going to give somebody that can't even speak the truth, can't even tell the truth about the situation? Why would you give them a reaction? You peep it, you see them clearly, and move accordingly. Be like, all right, I see you. I see you. And God will always show his people their enemies. Simple. He shows me all the time. And it's like he's been showing me, but I used to react. It's like when I started seeing people's spirits and all that stuff, it was like, oh no, they didn't, But now it's like, wow, I didn't even see that, or I didn't even know that. But now I see you. I see you. I see you, sweetheart. Sweetheart. I see you. So now that I see you, I'm going to move accordingly. Now that I see that you're an enemy, you won't know nothing. Absolutely nothing. How are you doing? Good. What you been up to? Nothing. No, I ain't talked to you yet. You're not going to get a reaction. Oh, did you hear about such and such? They'll bring up your enemies and everything. You see what they... No, I don't. I'm not friends with them. So why would I see what they're doing? Messy. Do not react. Just be like, no. Well, I'll be praying for them. Don't react. They want you to react, but you have to still be the light. So you can't react. You see that they trying to pull you in to their misery. Misery loves company. Let them not have any company. Let them be bored out their mind. So don't react. They're going to come try to pull you into their drama, into all this extra stuff. Don't react. Move accordingly. They come to you with that mess, be like, oh, well, I'll pray for them. No, but did you hear what she said about you? Nope, don't care. You don't want to? Nope, don't want to know. Well, honey, because they was out. Well, that's fine. I'm not worried about what anybody has to say because I'm not faking it till I make it. So my thing is, what is my Father saying about me? What do he see I'm doing? If my Father is straight with me, I'm straight. I don't have to worry about my adversaries because God said don't worry about your adversaries. He got your adversaries. Anybody that rises up against me is basically against my Father. So my Father is going to handle you. My Father will handle you. I know this for a fact. And people don't realize, and people that are called, we need to quit reacting because they can't stop anything that God has us to do. I know it is frustrating. That's why I say I'm talking to myself too, because it is very frustrating. But I get so many people like, what should I do when somebody is doing this? Because I just started business and I'm like, don't react. No, I got to say something because this is don't react. No, for real. I'm for real. Don't react. Don't give them that reaction. They're wanting a reaction from you. Do not react. Simple. Don't explain because you're talking to a brick wall. They don't want to hear you because they want to see you in the negative light. They don't want to see the light. There's nothing you can do to prove them that you're in the light, especially going off and giving them that type of reaction. They're not going to see the light. So just be the light. Continue to be you. Do you. Be great. Continue to be great in front of them. And don't worry about them. They can't pray. There's nothing that they can pray. There's nothing that they can do to stop what God has for you. Only person that can stop what God has for you is you. Nobody else but you. Simple. Nobody can stop the things that God has for you. Now, the biblical term I can give y'all, the biblical example I can give y'all is Joseph. You know that's one of my favorites because Joseph had a dream. And see, I can relate to Joseph because I have dreams, I have visions. And, God shows me a lot, especially with me being a visual person. So when he gives me an idea or whatever, it's like vivid. It's like, oh, I can look at a broke down building and God can be like, here's the building that's broken down. But then he gives me that vision with the building. And since I'm a visual person, it's like, oh, wow, I'm looking at the walls. Like, I don't even see the walls that is in front of me, really. It's like I see the vision that God gave me. So if I stay focused on the vision that God gave me, I don't have to worry about nothing else. It don't matter what it looks like right now. If you keep your focus on the vision that God gave you and you stay focused on that, and you know the outcome at the end of the tunnel, it's dark right now. That's why you have to have faith. People are going to rise up against you. You don't have to do nothing for them to rise up against you. You could just be you. You could just walk into a room and they're going to talk about you. Just because they're miserable. I would hate to be miserable. I am so thankful that I've never had to be miserable like that. Like that just gotta be a sad life. Sad. I mean, who wants to watch other people all day and be miserable? I don't have the time because I'm too busy being about my father's business. But back to Joseph, because I always relate the word with today. So I'm gonna give you Joseph, and then I'll give you my story. So the Joseph story that I always tell you guys about because it's one of my favorite, I can relate to him. God gave Joseph a dream that he was going to become ruler and that his brothers was going to have to bow down to him or whatever. And be careful when you tell people about your dreams because I started off so excited. When I started business, I was telling everybody, oh my gosh, God told me this. Oh my gosh, this. Oh my gosh, this vision, I can do this. And then people would try to steal them. But anyway, back to Joseph before I get to mine. But so Joseph had the dream that he was going to be ruler. His brothers were going to bow down. Everybody was going to bow down to him. That was his dream as a child. He had this dream as a child. And he went and told his brothers. Well, he's already treated differently because, Joseph's father already know that about his calling, And so his brother's already jealous. Then, he's excited. He tells his brothers because he's not miserable like they are. He's not jealous or envious minded like they are. But he goes and tells his brothers. And they're, teasing him and like, whatever. Like they don't believe him. Like, whatever, you just think you're so great. And that's how people will talk to you. Like, oh, you think you this. And I don't think I'm nothing. I know what I am. And you hate that I know what I am. The enemy himself hates when you start to grow in you and you start having that Godfidence because you start knowing who God says you are. Because, when you know what God and who God says you are, you don't have to worry about what anybody else says. Because it's like, honey, I know for a fact, honey, how my father feels about me. So I can confidently be in front of you guys because I know how he feels about me. And he has told others that I'm special. to him. So, with that being said, he's told apostles, he's told preachers, and they have came to me to tell me. And that was when I was a broken woman. Didn't know who I was, didn't know which way to go. But when they told me, like, girl, you don't know how special you are to God. Like, what are you worried about? What are you worried about? You are very special. God has a high calling on your life. And, they were just speaking life. And the more I got into the word and started reading the word and seeing how, God feels about me, and God started telling me himself through people and through himself telling me, it was just amazing. But back to Joseph. Um, Joseph, he's like, why are they mad at me? I'm just telling them about my dream. I'm excited, I'm just excited to tell them about my dream. He wasn't thinking that he was better than them or anything. He's just, excited about the dream. Like, oh my gosh, anytime you have a dream or something that's, uplifting and great for you, you're excited about it. But everybody's not going to be excited as you are. So you have to remember that. So, and they're not going to be happy for you. They may, oh, that's good, girl. Oh, whatever, or boy, or whatever, man. But 9 times out of 10, if you just watch the reactions, when you tell them something good, it's like, oh, that's good. Now, you see how dry that was? Oh, that's good, girl. I'm happy for you. But when this is happening to me. Oh, girl, what's going on? What? You got all this enthusiasm when something's going wrong in my life. But when I be like, oh, this is happening good, and I'm so excited. Oh, that's good. Anyways, girl, like it's like what the heck, But nevertheless, don't react. Now, Joseph was confused. He's a child. He just had this dream. His daddy done robed him in this nice fancy robe and all this stuff. So his brother's jealous. So they plotting. They plotting against Joseph. They want to get rid of him. They even talking about killing their own brother, just like Cain did, because he let jealous and envy take over him, and he ended up killing Abel. They were planning on killing Joseph, but they didn't, because one of the brothers was like, no, we can't kill him. We just need to get rid of him. So anyways, they're plotting. Joseph is excited. He's wanting to help them, That's how most of God's people are. We want to help. We want to, I was so naive. I was just I was sheltered most of my life. So when I got into the real world, it was just like, I saw stuff on movies and I heard stuff. My parents warned me, but it's a difference when you have to deal with it. And you're like, what? People are really evil? Like, this is real. But anyway, so that was the same way Joseph was. He wasn't an evil person like his brother. So he didn't think like his brother. So he's thinking like, whatever, they were mad at me yesterday. This is different. I'm just going to spend time with them, hang out with them, and hopefully they'll start liking me or whatever, whatever. So he goes, he's wanting to help his brothers. They're like, stay right here. They go out, and then they end up, push him into a ditch, taking his robe, thinking that that's going to take his anointing away. It doesn't. They try to take Jesus' robe like that was going to take his anointing away. It does not take the anointing away. You can take the robe, you can defame the name, do whatever you want to do. But you can't take this anointing, sweetheart. You cannot take the anointing that God has given us. So, anyways, so they ended up selling them off, trading them off into slavery. And he ended up in jail and went through all of this stuff. But in jail, he learned, how to survive. So all of this was part of God's purpose for Joseph's life. So he was able to learn how to survive with nothing. Hmm. I had nothing starting out as this. But anyways, I'm gonna stick to Joseph. He started out with nothing and was able to build off of nothing and survive off of nothing. So he gets out because he started answering other people's dream and all of this stuff, and other people started noticing his calling. Whoop, whoop. So, um, anyways, Joseph ends up becoming ruler, just like he said. Everything had to go through Joseph. Everything, everybody had to go through Joseph because they knew that Joseph had the wisdom and the knowledge to rule because of what he went through. So, anyways, his brother ended up being in a pandemic kind of type of situation, and they have to go to where Joseph is. And see, they've lied for so long on Joseph's name that they start believing their own lies. These people really start believing their own lies. They done lied to Joseph's dad and told Joseph's dad he's dead and here's his robe and all this stuff. They done lied and kept this lie for so many years, really believing that they really got rid of Joseph and they ain't got to worry about Joseph no more. But here they are. Here they are needing food and all this stuff. And their dad sent them basically to where Joseph, the city where Joseph was. And Joseph ended up seeing his brothers. And they didn't recognize Joseph's sweetheart. Because, like I said, they really started believing their own lies. Like, these people are so delusional that they believe their own lies. And you be looking at them like, what the heck? I'm not dead. But anyway, nevertheless, so they end up, bowing down to Joseph because that's how they did back in the days or whatever. And, asking, whatever. And, when Joseph saw his brothers, it took him back and he ended up crying. I'm summarizing the story. But he ended up crying when he saw his brothers, and, he was telling them like, hey, like they didn't even recognize Joseph. Because again, they're in their delusional mind frame and they're thinking that, um, they got rid of Joseph. So they right in front of Joseph, and Joseph is in the best garments and everything in front of him. And, they're asking Joseph for help, bowing down to Joseph like Joseph told them that they were going to do in his dream when he was a child. But, they didn't want to believe him. They didn't have no faith in him or whatever, and thinking that they just whatever he thinks he's all that, whatever. But it ended up happening. Anything that God says is going to happen is going to happen. Period. It may take long. It may take whatever. That's because the thing that God has for you is way bigger than what you see in everybody else on. You have to be ruler over nations, so it's going to take longer because he's preparing you during these times. But anyways, back to Joseph. So, anyways, they bow down to their brother, whom they said was dead, and Joseph basically tell them, summarizing the story. He told them, "Go back to my father." They was like, "Oh my gosh!" When they realized that it was Joseph, he was like, "Go back to our father and let him know that I'm alive, and tell him and bring him here." And they did, and he ended up taking care of his brothers because his brothers needed him. And his father ended up passing, but at least he knew that his son was back alive or whatever. But anyways, Joseph Joseph told them, because he was like, don't be upset now, now that I'm alive and I'm great, he was like, I thank you. Thank you, because you only played your part. Your enemies only play their part. It may look like they're winning, like, oh my gosh, what is happening to me? They must be praying against me and all this and that. It don't matter if they pray against you or whatever, and it seems like it's hard for you right now. Just know at the end of the day, God got you. God for you. Who can be against you? It's nothing that they can do. They cannot stop what God has called you. Only you. If you start focusing on what they're doing and you stop your focus on the vision that God gave you and you start focusing on the enemy, that's the only time that you stop you or you prolong it. But you're still going to end up being the great person that God has you to be, period. If you are about your Father's business, if you stay the course. Now, gave you the biblical story. Now, since y'all want to see how that relates in today's world, when I started my business 6 years ago, nobody believed. They didn't understand. It was stupid. I didn't think about the kids, all of this stuff. Didn't have child care assistance. None of that. They were not in school. They're still in elementary now, so that should tell you a lot. They were not school age. My daughter was only 2, and my son was 3 years apart, 5. And his birthday was in September, so he couldn't even go to kindergarten because even though he took the test and exceeded the test, they still didn't let him go because I don't know. But anyways, none of my kids was school age. Didn't have child care assistance, so I had to do what I had to do. At the time, I had nothing at the time. I was living on based on income, and I was just like, okay, God, I know this is the path that you have for me. I saw the vision that you have for me, but this don't look right. Maybe what my enemies basically were saying, maybe it's something's right. Maybe I need to get a job or whatever, because I don't have childcare. Everybody's working. They don't want to help me. What is happening? But I learned a lot having to have 2 kids basically on your hip by yourself with God, with God, with God. I was not by myself, I had God. But, with no physical person to help you on this journey that you know for a fact that God has you on, it was difficult. Then, as you were going along, as I was going along in my journey, I started out doing photography. Had my son, used to bring my daughter's stroller, have my camera and stuff in her stroller. Had my son to hold my little hip or my little belt or whatever I had on, and I took pictures. Didn't have a studio at the time, but people were wanting outdoor pictures anyway, so I was charging and making an income, starting to build my clientele. So I started out as photography. Then God gave me my Destined to Be book. I started that back in 2017. He gave me that, and he gave it to me, and I just typed it as he gave it. I typed it. So the Destined to Be book, I'm living it now. When I read it back, it was like, wow, I'm just now going through half of the stuff that he had me to type up back in 2017. Now, I started my business back in 2015, but he had me on another journey, and he had me to write my Destined to Be book, God book, to guide others to become who they were destined to be. So that was back in 2017. I started my classes back in 2017. Then I started my Destined magazine. Was that in 2000? It was either 2017 or 2018 is when I started my Destined magazine, because I realized that the people that were going through my classes didn't have a platform to, showcase their new business because they were just starting. So I started my Destin magazine to showcase small businesses that are just starting up, to give them a platform so, when they go to people, they can be like, well, I was featured in the magazine. I mean, something for the people that went through my class. But God opened that door for it to be for everyone that's in business. So I feature whoever wants to be in the magazine, that's in business, that's doing a positive business, um, in my magazine. So started that. But during the time that I was doing my Destined to Be classes, now when I did the kids, I had a few obstacles, but with the bashing of the name and all this stuff. But then, the kids graduated and turned out great. But when I got to the grown-ups, I think doing adults, because some of the parents were asking me, hey, do you do classes for adults too? And I was like, well, I never thought of that, but I can start doing that. So I started doing classes for adults, and that was back in 2018. Well, my car broke down the first class. I had my Joseph moments. Like, it felt like, um, you know, everything was hitting me all at once, and I had to start figuring things out on at the time that it's happening. I couldn't react the way I normally would react. I had to see the situation for what it was and move accordingly. I couldn't worry about the obstacles that was surrounding me and against me. I had to focus on, okay, this just hit me. What do I do? How do I had to come up with solutions right on the spot. So, with nothing. Um, so I didn't start out with nothing. I learned how to do my own website with nothing. Because when you have nothing and you don't have money to be spending to for advertising, you don't have money to spend for all this other stuff, you start getting creative. That start helping me learn more of my gifts, because I didn't even know I knew how to build a website. I didn't know, how to do a magazine until I did a magazine. I didn't know how to write a guidebook until I did the guidebook. It just started bursting out some of my gifts. And but when I did my Destined to Be classes, I'm encouraging others, doing my classes, um, teaching them how to move forward towards their destiny, no matter what obstacle you go through. La di da da. Well, I'm going through 50 million obstacles. My son getting bullied at school. He's in school now, so it's like he's getting bullied. I have to deal with that. My car is breaking down. What else? Oh, my family member put a charge on my name. I mean, I'm going through the most. And meanwhile, I cannot talk about what I'm going through. I just have to continue to encourage and teach people how to move forward while I'm moving forward in my Destined to Be class. Like, no matter what obstacle I have, and they don't know. They have no clue what's going on in my life. They're smiling. I'm happy, and it's like, yeah. So let's get to it. And I'm just encouraging, because that's the type of person I am, anyways. It's like I don't want to burden anybody with my problems. It's like I just want everybody else to be happy. That makes me happy. So, anyways, um, going through the most. But at the end of the day, I went through all of these obstacles, back to back to back. I'm not on based on income anymore. I haven't been for like 3 or 4 years now. So most of my business time, I think the first 2 years is how I built my business. And then after those first 2 years, God just elevated me. He just kept elevating me, because I stayed the course. I didn't react. I just moved accordingly. I listened to God. It didn't look right. It looked like, everything came up against me for doing the right thing. But at the end of the day, 'cause just like it didn't look right for Joseph to be locked up, Just like when Potiphar's wife ended up lying on him. It didn't look right. It was like he ran away. He didn't even do nothing to her. But yet and still, God still provide. All you have to do is stay the course. Just like when God parted the Red Sea, all you had to do was stay focused. The moment you look back, that's when you get off course. That's when the sea falls on you. So you just have to stay the course. And that's what I did. I stayed the course. No matter what obstacle came to me, I didn't react. I just moved accordingly. You cannot worry about your adversaries. People are going to rise up against you. They're going to put stuff on your name. They're going to lie on you. They're going to do all types of things. But don't give them the reaction. The same thing I tell my children. And I had to learn this because I used to get frustrated too. Just like my son. I told my son. I was like, Mama used to freak out too. Because I used to be like, why do they keep messing with me? Why? I'm not even doing nothing. Why they keep messing with me? And I would cry because it's like, dang, that hurts. Like, I don't do nothing to nobody and they keep bullying me. Dang. And I had to keep proving myself as a small person all my life. I always had to prove myself. And I did. Because you're not going to mess with me. But now that I'm grown and I have matured in God, with God-filled wisdom, because I fear God. Because fearing God is the start, basically, into knowledge. If you don't fear the Lord and you don't see nobody higher than yourself, then you have no knowledge. You just stuck in your own mind with your own stinking thinking and foolish. You're foolish. And you don't want to be foolish. And you don't want to act foolish with these foolish people. So don't react. Like I said, I'm talking to Shanidra. I'm talking to myself too. While I'm telling y'all, don't react. Move accordingly. And don't worry about your adversaries. Because at the end of the day, God has your adversaries. Like he said, he will put a table in front of your enemies. Honey, he will bless you in front of your enemies. Just like he blessed Joseph in front of his enemies. His brothers had to bow down to him like he told them. He became ruler. Everything had to go through Joseph. Read the story. So, it's going to seem hard. And it's hard to ignore people, especially when they doing the most. Because I know it's easier said than done when people doing the most. But don't react. Don't give them that reaction. They're wanting a reaction from you. Don't give it to them. Don't give it to them. Don't quit crying. Like I tell my son, quit crying. You giving them exactly what they want. That's why they're going to keep messing with you, because you crying. You giving them exactly what they want. Don't cry. Just smile at them. Start smiling. They ha 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 ha. Do it back. Or just ignore them. Ignore them. Don't even do it back to them. Just ignore them. But they want to be in my ear. It don't matter. They can be in your ear, whatever. Walk away. Ignore them. I ignore. That's the best thing I can do. Or I walk away. I remove myself. I move accordingly. I see some shade. I'm out. Because why would I put myself in that situation? God always provides a way out. So when I see drama, I'm out. You're not going to be seeing me. But like I said, we all make mistakes. So, like I said, I'm talking to myself. Prayerfully that I can continue to not react and move accordingly. Because I know when we are caught off guard, but that's why I'm saying if we stay in tune with God, God will help you and guide you through this nonsense. And I'm trying to answer as many as questions as I get, because now that a lot of people are in their business, it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know how hard it was. And I didn't know people, they just coming at me with foolish stuff. And I didn't even do this. And they're trying to just take advantage of me and try not to pay me, and they're trying this and they're trying that, and they're trying to say that I this and I that. Well, don't worry about it. No, because they're going to mess up my business. I've been in business for 6 years. They can't mess up your business, sweetheart. When you know that God is your provider, you don't worry about nothing else, nobody else, if somebody else gonna pay you or whatever, because God is your provider. Like I said, when I started walking in obedience and just listening and following my Father, money, I'm telling you, and it's not the little money that I was making when I was just focused on customers. When I stopped focusing on customers and focused on what God had me to do and just kept my focus on just doing that and not worrying about the outcome became great. The outcome is lovely. Obedience, following what God has you to do. Just like I told the children Sunday for Bilal's Young Mighty Men of Valor, I told them, I'm trying to teach you guys now. And the kids had a lot of questions. Like, what if you have a lot of money? Did it make you successful? No. Because God said, what is it to gain the whole world and lose your own soul? You want to be happy. If you had a lot of money, would you buy a lot of mansions? No. To much is given, much is required. So if he's giving me a lot of money, there's more that's required of me to give back. I'm not selfish, so I don't want to me have 50 million mansions while people are homeless. I would build stuff for to help others. Period. So much is given, much is required. And I like to help. I like to give. I'm a giver. So the best thing, like I said, for you to do, like I told the kids, they was like, well, people like when you tell them what you're trying to do and they don't believe you, or it don't matter if they believe you. Didn't nobody believe me. They thought that my business was not gonna make it. They thought I was crazy. They thought I wasn't even thinking about my kids. You need to think about the kids. I am. These jobs don't care about my kids. My mother was going to take my son to the hospital because she said he was barely breathing. That's all she had to say. That's all she had to say. She's taking my son to the hospital because he's barely breathing. I'm signed out. There's nothing else for me to be here for. I'm gone. I don't care about this job. I'm only working this job for my child. So if my child can't breathe, then I don't need to be here. I need to be gone. I don't want to be here. I'm not going to be here. There's nothing you can say. But I already clocked out, signed out, whatever. Boom. My mama told me that they're headed there. I'll probably beat them there. I go to the job and I'm like, hey, my mom just called and she told me that my son can barely breathe and they're headed to the hospital. Okay, well, give her our number, and when she calls our number, we will get you off the floor and let you talk. I'm like, I already clocked out. What? We're not doing this, sweetheart. Because I can get another job. I can't get my child back. So that's how I always looked at it. Like, I don't care about this job. It's not that important to me. I can get another job. I can't get another Estefan. I can't get another child. I don't want to keep saying my children's name. I can't get another child. Even if I had another child, they would not replace my that whatever child I lost. No child could do that. So I'm always thinking about my children. I've always, even with jobs, put my children first. My son has had asthma since basically birth. So I've dealt with that and lost jobs for having to take off because they come first. I'm the mother. So with the little slick nonsense, oh, think about the kids. If you're not working, I am working. I'm just not working a job. I'm doing my business. I'm building a brand for my kids so that they can have something to fall back on when the job's fired in and they still got a family to support. They at least have my business, or now, they are in business. So they'll be able to fall back on their business. They are learning their gifts now. My son is tapping into his art. He's tapping into comic books. He's tapping into all types of things. He's not following what somebody else is doing or trying to no, because when you do that, you stress yourself out because you're trying to copy and do what somebody else is doing. And that's not what God had you to do. Do what God has you to do. Quit trying to copy somebody else because that's why you're stressed out. You're stressed out. I don't even know why I'm going this way. So God must be trying to tell y'all something. You're stressed out because you're trying to do what you see somebody else doing. And that's not what God called you to do. Oh, okay, I get it. So God is talking my word. So basically, the people that I'm telling y'all not to react to and to move accordingly, they're watching you. They're frustrated with you because they're trying to be you. Wow. They're trying to be you. And since they can't copy you and be you, they're mad at you. So you can't react to them for trying to be you. You just keep being you. Because their problem is they're trying to be you. They're trying to mimic what you are doing. And they're off the track of what God has for them and what God wants them to do. So they're already in trouble. They're in their Jonah moment. Because they're not focused on what God told them to do. They're running away from what God told them to do because they're trying to copy you. Wow. I'm telling you, God will give y'all revelations. He just gave me a revelation right then and there. I didn't even know where he was going with this. But don't react to them because they want to be you. They're jealous of you. You have the light. Joseph had the light. I have the light. They cannot take your anointing. They can't. They want to. They can't figure out why or how they've thrown all these bricks and you built the house. Y'all better listen to me. They threw all the bricks. Now they mad because you built the house with it. Woo! I'm telling you, this hitting me hard because, man, there's been so many bricks thrown at me. No help, no nothing, y'all. I am trying my best to hold back these tears. But I built a house with the bricks that was thrown at me, y'all. So, honey. Y'all better get this message. Y'all better get this message. Don't react. Don't react to them. God is saying, do not react. They're going to rise up against you. They're going to try to defame your name because they're jealous of you. So they don't want people to see you. They don't want people to see your light. They want people to think the opposite of you, just like they did Jesus. No matter how much good Jesus did, they refused to see it and they kept trying to, defame his name and try to make it seem like he was evil and all of this stuff. But just like I said in Isaiah 5, the 5th chapter, verse 20, God said, woe unto them that call evil good. So anybody that's saying that evil is good and good is evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. That's basically saying these people that call their evil, wicked ways good, but then shame somebody that's speaking the truth about what God is saying and what God is telling you, trying to make you think that they're lying or they're not who they say they are or whatever. Don't worry about them. He said, woe to them. Woe to them. It means he's about to handle them. They better be scared. You don't have to be scared. What you scared for? God said, don't worry about your adversaries. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about them, sweetheart. Because God has your adversary. They now became, they thinking they're an enemy with you, but they don't became an enemy with your father, with my father. You're an enemy with my father. Now my father about to handle you. You know how you were when you was a child. It's like, oh, I get my mama or my daddy on you. You know, you talk big stuff when you know that you know your parents got your back. Well, honey, I talk big stuff because I know for a fact that my father has my back. I'm telling y'all the truth. The truth. He has shut down schools. I went to National College for business management. They did me wrong. The one right off of Kingston Pike. They did me wrong. So, they're closed. Right after they did me wrong, God shut it down. I didn't even notice this stuff though. Let me tell you more. Well, I went to Regency Beauty Institute. That was right next door to Chuck E. Cheese on Kingston Pike. They did me wrong. They got mad because I was braiding my mannequin's hair, and the class started watching me braid my mannequin's hair. And the teacher was like, "Oh well, let's let Shanidra teach the class." And all this stuff. I'm like, "Well, if y'all pay me, I will, because right now I'm paying you. We need to have a different transaction. If they're going to be watching me, I need to get paid because you're getting paid right now, and you're not going to get paid for me doing your work. You need to do the work. You need to be teaching them, or you need to pay me." But no, they wanted to kick me out. She sent me to the dean's office, all types of stuff, talking about I'm disrupting the class and all this stuff. I'm not a child. We are adults up in here. You're not going to talk to me crazy like I'm some child. Now I'm about my business. So if you want to do business with Shanidra, then you can do, because right now I'm paying y'all. And I'm not paying y'all to be arguing with me, fussing with me, and trying to tell me to do free stuff while I'm paying y'all. So, well, you need to clock out and leave. Well, you need to give me the money that I'm paying for this hour, and then I'll leave. Oh no, they flipping out. Oh, we're going to suspend you. We're not in high school. This is not school. I'm a grown woman. You suspend me, y'all need to suspend that transaction, that money that y'all get. But now they want to be smart. They did me wrong. Whoop de whoop. Do you see Regency Beauty Institute next to Chuck E. Cheese? The moment I left, they got shut down. Shut down. Like I said, God said, mess not with my anointing. Can't nobody take your anointing. They can defame your name. They can lie on you, all of that. It does not change who God says you are. Period. They're mad because of who you are, the favor of God that's on you. You can't help it. I can't help what the favor of God that's on my life. They can be obedient like God told Cain. You can't, won't I bless you too if you too do what I say? Dang. You want to give God whatever and then expect him to bless you. No, he's not going to show favor. He showed favor to Abel because Abel gave his best. He's favoring his people that he has called when they are giving him his best. I'm giving God my best. I'm being obedient. I'm trying my best to follow his commandments carefully. I'm trying my best to tell y'all the truth and to not lie to you guys, to not prophesy, to not lead y'all astray into thinking that, oh, I could keep doing what I'm doing and sin and all this stuff. No. Don't ask Shanidra nothing if you don't want to hear the truth. I had the talk with the sibling of mine. I'm just gonna say that sibling of mine, and they said that I said that they shouldn't be putting, um, you know, forcing the teachers to call children what they're not. That's not of God. That's all I'm saying. I'm standing on the principles of God. So God makes no mistakes. He created everything on this earth. So therefore, if anything that is against God, I'm not for it. I'm not even for me having kids at a wedlock. That was a sin. I sinned. That was wrong. I'm saying I was wrong for having kids out of wedlock. But am I continuously having kids out of wedlock? No, I'm celibate until marriage. So I'm not judging anyone. I'm saying I was wrong. And when you grow up, you start taking accountability and realizing that you're wrong, and you stop accusing other people for it or getting mad when people tell you the truth. You're wrong. You're in the wrong. It's wrong. Quit letting these kids say what they are. You are a boy. I teach my kids what they are, what God made them. And I tell them that God makes no mistakes. Period. God makes no mistakes. I didn't say the doctors make no mistakes. I said God. God makes no mistakes. If he made you a boy, that's what you're supposed to be. If he made you a girl, that's what you're supposed to be. Now, I don't judge anyone. I'm cool. I treat people the same. I'm not going to treat you no different. Whatever you choose to do, I'm not going to love you any different. I'm not going to treat you any different. I'm going to treat you the same that I treat everybody else, in love. I still love you. And I don't judge you. I'm just saying, I'm going to tell you it's wrong. I was wrong. When God showed Shanidra, it was nothing pretty. He didn't paint a pretty picture of me when I asked him to show me. I'm like, show me what I'm doing wrong, Lord. Help me, Lord. And he did. And oh my gosh, it was an ugly picture. I was like, what the heck? I'm thinking I'm halfway doing right because I was going to church, but I was still living in sin because I was dating guys and I was dating guys. So, um, and, doing what people do when they're dating. And I'm just being quite frank and forward with you guys. And even being in a relationship, with me not being married, that was a sin, you know. Um, Whether we were planning on getting married, because half of the people I ain't been with nothing but like seven, but the people that I've been with, most of them have wanted to marry me. So we were going on the course of marriage, but we shouldn't have been doing anything outside of marriage. And I'm just being honest because God was honest with me. And I'm sitting here thinking, oh, I'm going to church. I'm living right. I'm trying to do right, But when God was telling me about me, he was like, no, You need to, you can't be y'all cannot y'all you can date, but you cannot do anything physical with nobody until y'all get married. Period. Because you're teaching your kids through your actions that that's okay. You're leading your kids astray. That's how he put it to me. Me to me. I was like, oh my gosh, why are you putting it like that? I was not. But the God is not sugarcoating nothing with you. And when he put it to me like that, I was like, oh my goodness. I am so sorry. I repented and everything. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, I did not know that I was leading my kids astray. And oh my gosh. And, you know, uh, so that made me stop. That's why I've been celibate for years right now. And even in my last relationship, I fought to be celibate. Um, so uh, that's just what I chose to do, because when I realized my sin and that I was in the wrong and how deep it was, that we lead our kids astray when we're in these relationships, not married, and the kids, well, they never, but I'm just saying they they see you in a relationship and y'all living together, unmarried, um, it that leads your kids astray. So I can tell y'all the truth about it, because it's what God told me. I was leading my kids astray, and I didn't want to do that. I was like, oh my gosh, that's all He had to tell me, and I couldn't blame nobody else, because this is me and God talking, and I'm not gonna say anything to God. So when I tell people, because I've told friends and everybody, you need to be celibate. I'm not telling you nothing that I'm not doing. I'm telling you because you leading your kids astray. You're being a hypocrite. So we can't be teaching the word and living a different thing. That we're doing the same thing that the people in the church do. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't want to live one life and preach another. No, I want to teach y'all what I'm living, what I'm actually in my actions doing. So for the people in my inbox, I'm not looking. I know. I'm so connected with my Father, and I can hear closely from my Father that He would literally tell me if you are the one. And I would literally know I've been through enough of thinking that people were men of God and they turned out to be devils. So I think I know now. But God will tell you, just be celibate, be patient. It's worth it. Um, don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm just giving y'all the facts that I'm not judging anyone, because whether you think you're perfect or not, God said if you say that you have never seen the truth, it's not lying you, because everybody has sinned. So I'm not here to act like I'm perfect, act like nothing's ever happened or I've never done anything wrong or whatever. I'm just saying right is right and wrong is wrong, and we know right from wrong, and we need to do what God has us to do, period. We need to walk in obedience. I'm telling you, as I'm walking in obedience in my actions, you won't see nothing else other than what I'm telling y'all. I'm dressing classier. So with my More Too Classy boutique, I'm sure some of you guys have seen me with some of the outfits that y'all saw and that y'all will see at the end of this video. Y'all have seen me in them. So I'm dressing and doing everything that I'm asking you guys to do. So even with the don't react and move accordingly, I don't react. When I see it's something about to go down, or I see something ain't right, I exit the building. Because why would you put yourself in a situation that you know you may react? Don't even, you see it, or if you see it going left, you think you can handle it, and you see it going left. Because I thought When I first was in God and God was changing me, I was like, oh, shoot, I can deal with anything. Honey, stay on guard because stuff will throw you off. And it's just best not to put yourself in situations that you know will provoke your wrath. That's why God tell us not to provoke his wrath. And I don't want to provoke his wrath. So just don't react to these people. They want to be you. You are so great that you got people wanting to be you. So don't give them that reaction. Continue to be you. Move accordingly. Keep your focus on what God has you to do. Be obedient. Walk in the light. Walk in the light, not in darkness. They're in darkness. They can't even see the light at the end of the tunnel because they're so focused on trying to outdo you and trying to be you and trying to, you know, but they can't even focus on what God has them do. So they already in trouble. I tell my children, oh, but are you doing what I just told you to do? But I was just telling you that she wasn't cleaning up. Are you cleaning up? Because you here. You're talking to me right now. Is your room clean? Well, no. Well, if you focus on doing what you're supposed to do, I ain't got to be getting on you right now. But I was just telling you that she's not cleaning. Well, I'm telling you that you're not cleaning up because you're down here. So, to keep yourself out of trouble, don't worry about your adversaries. Don't worry about your enemies. Don't react to them. Just focus on doing what God told you to do. Focus on cleaning up your room, cleaning up your house, cleaning up your temple, cleaning up your life. Like I said, make that U-turn. Look at you. God didn't show me nobody else. He showed me Shanidra. I told y'all he showed me my attitude, all types of stuff. So he's not going to show you nobody else but you. So people need to make that U-turn. If you are the one that is focused and trying to be somebody else and trying to do what they're doing and you're frustrated because you're not them and you can't do what they do, focus and see what God has you to do. Don't be in a Cain situation where you're just so jealous and envious that you just want them dead. Because you're not going to heaven. God said, do not murder. Do not murder. This phone is going off the hook today. Do not murder. So, don't be jealous. Figure out what it is that God have you to do. Period. You don't know, you could be so great, but you can't even see it because you're so focused and envious on somebody else being great. How in the world are they? I done threw all these bricks and they done built a house. Yes, I built a house, sweetheart. Every brick you throw, it makes my house bigger. This is not going to make it smaller. So when people throw bricks, just build your house. Keep building. Keep growing. Keep moving. Keep your focus forward. Don't focus on them because only you can stop you. They can't stop you. They didn't stop Joseph. They still bow down to Joseph. They can't stop me. It's 6 years in business. Still making it by the grace of God because I'm following what God is telling me to do. I'm not focused on any trends. Like I said, I'm not trying to make any other likes. I want my likes to come as they come. I want my views to come as they come. I'm not trying to pay for views. I'm not trying to scam for views. It don't make any sense. I want to see who's actually watching. I don't want no fake views. I don't want no, and I want to continue the process that God has me on. I don't want to be on nobody else's process. Oh, because you do good stuff on that. You could do, I can do what God told me to do. I'm not doing nothing else. I'm not focused on nothing else. I appreciate what you want me to do, but I'm not focused on what anybody else wants me to do, but what God has me to do. Because if I stay on this track that God has me on, I don't have to worry about nothing. I do not have to worry about. We're in a pandemic and my stuff is getting paid. Everything is getting paid. So I'm telling you, God is God. When you do what God told you to do, all of this stuff is added to you. He is a man of his word. The reason why stuff is not added to you and you feel like everything's taken away is because you need to look at you. You need to see what you are doing wrong. What you are not following his commandments. Oh, how come I can't? Because I've been praying and I don't hear from God. Well, just like Jonah, you can pray and ask God to stop this storm, but God is the one that caused the storm for Jonah when Jonah was going the wrong way. Don't go the wrong way. Make that U turn and figure out what you need to be doing right now, what you need to stop doing right now. Make that U turn. See what God has you to do. Focus on you and God. Get out of that sin. Stop being disobedient. Be obedient. Obedience. Obedience. You can hear from God. You get closer to God. You get closer to God. Every time you become more obedient, you stop the sin. You fast from the sin. Stop it. Stop your wicked ways. Turn from your wicked ways. Then he will hear from heaven. After you turn from your wicked ways. It says turn from your wicked ways before it says that he hears from heaven. So he's not going to hear from heaven until you turn from your wicked ways. So you have to turn from doing the things that God told you not to do. Period. So you can be in denial thinking that, oh, people judging you and all this stuff. No. God is the only judge, and honey, when he judged you, it's not pretty. It wasn't pretty when he was telling me about me. That's why I'm telling y'all, because I'm not telling y'all, I'm not acting like I'm perfect or like I know everything. I'm telling y'all as God is telling me. Y'all are able to see. Y'all saw the revelation happen right on this camera. Like that was so awesome. Um, I always pray before I even talk to you guys. Let your words come out of my mouth and not mine. Let your will be done, not my will. So whatever I say on this video is what God is trying to get your attention on. So just take heed. Do what God has you to do. Focus on what God has you to do. You're mad and frustrated because you're trying to do what they are doing. That's not for you, sweetheart. You can't do what they do. You don't know the obstacles that come with this. People are starting to see business is hard. It's easy to take pictures all day, but can you take pictures and run a business? I'm taking pictures running a business and helping my kids with their business. With only the help of God. There's nobody else is in this field in my family that's doing what I'm doing with kids. With kids. I have 2 kids that I've had for 6 years. I mean, more than 6 years. They're older than 6. But I'm saying I've been in business for 6 years. Going on 7 next year. And God has provided the whole way. I just had to stay the course. I stayed the course. You have to stay the course. Do not react. Just move accordingly. Don't focus on what they're doing and what they're saying. Don't give them a reaction because you know people are going to be trying to look to see what you reacted to, what was said. And if you don't have no reaction, they don't have nothing to feed off of. So don't react. Do not react and move accordingly. Don't worry about your adversaries because God got them. I told you he shut down schools and people, stuff has happened to people that have came up against me. So, and God will show you what he does to your enemies most of the time. So don't worry about them. I know my father has my back. It's a proven fact. And a preacher, the one that showed me about the school stuff. I didn't even recognize that as God having my back at first. I was like, oh wow. Because they was like, the schools that did you wrong, who you think handled that? I'm like, oh wow. I didn't even realize that they were closed down. So I'm just saying, I don't have to worry about nobody, my adversaries, because God got them. Whether they believe I'm in the light or not, whether they believe I'm his anointed or not. That has nothing to do with me and God. God knows. God is still protecting me. So I don't have to worry about anything. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. As I showed you guys, here's well, the belt is over there, but here is the sleeves to that jumpsuit. This is a jumpsuit. And here is the black dress that y'all are going to see. So I do have these items actually available for you guys. If you can see them right here. So, as you can see, this is the exact dress that you guys are going to see, and that is on my website. And I have the other outfits as well. They are available. So, I don't put anything up that I do not have. But I have to know your size because I may not have your size and I may have to order it. But you can go to the website now because everything is posted, including the mugs and the journals. So you can get your COVID proof mug now. It's on the website. It's actually on the front page, the home page. The clothes are on the store page. So either way, all you have to do is type in cportraitsmagazine.com and you can get your More to Classy Boutique um, dresses and accessories or outfits and accessories. So, as you can see, I have my earrings on. I will start putting my jewelry up too. It's just a lot of jewelry to post, so um, I will start putting my jewelry on, and so you can have the full accessories. So you can have your purse. So you can choose your purse and your outfit and buy them together. So I'm gonna end it off with the video again so you guys can watch it. And that is it. Yeah, let's go beyond the cover. Let's not react. Let's move accordingly. And don't worry about your adversaries. Here we go.